Representative Dubitsky.
Thank you, Mr. Speaker. Mr. Speaker, I understand the purpose of this bill, but something that we really need to understand is that the people of this state are fed up. They are fed up with their electric bills. They are fed up with the way that this legislature handles electric distribution in this state. They got hit with some of the biggest rate increases they've ever seen. I never thought I'd see people posting electric bills on the internet. They did it because they were just completely shocked that their bills doubled or tripled, at least portions of it, in 1 month. They're suffering under COVID, and suddenly they get whacked by this enormous electric bill with no additional usage. They look at us and they say, "What the heck just happened? Did you guys vote for that?" And then they get hit with a big storm, and their power is out for days and days and days. They lose their food. They lose their ability to communicate. In some instances, it lasted well over a week. In my place, we lost power twice. The first time, I think it was 6 days, and then it was 4 days after that. And I can only imagine people who aren't as mobile, people who are suffering, people who are sick or elderly, people who need specialized care and medicine and machinery, to be without power for that long. It's disgraceful. But we had some utilities that did a great job. Some of the municipal utilities. In my district, I give a special thanks to Norwich Public Utilities. They did a fabulous job. Storm recovery, they were back right away. Their bills are reasonable. You know, everybody complains a little bit, but nothing like what they saw from Eversource. Nothing. I understand the other municipal utilities did a great job too. Wallingford. I hear also Groton. Some of the smaller ones, they did a fabulous job. In fact, I know that when Eversource was scrambling to pull in crews from all over the country, Norwich Public Utilities had crews standing by because they'd already done their job. They'd already restored power to all of their customers, and they were standing by to help Eversource. They were just waiting for the call. Eversource, in the minds of a lot of people, is just too big. It's too big. It's too unaccountable. It's a regulated utility, so we've got regulators, but have they done anything to help solve this problem? Well, there's an awful lot of people in this state, an awful lot of people in my district who say no. And it's up to us, as the legislature in this state, to investigate and to figure out how to solve this problem. And we need to investigate big ideas, not just poking around the edges, little changes here and there. We need to investigate a real solution. A lot of people say that solution is break up Eversource. Break it up. They broke up the big oil companies. They broke up Ma Bell. Why can't we break up Eversource? Well, I'm a free market guy. Eversource is a private company. The state can't just come in and break up Eversource. However, what we can do is we can investigate changing the way the electric distribution market works in this state. It's regulated. We get to decide how the market operates in this state. And I think it's high time that the legislature finally investigate, finally study how to change the way we distribute electricity in this state, how to avoid the consequences of having an enormous monopoly that covers a huge portion of this state. What I believe we should be doing in this building is investigating, studying the way electricity is distributed in this state. We should put together a study committee that has representatives from all different aspects, all different stakeholders in the electric distribution system. I put together an amendment that would do that. But I think it's a big idea. I think it's a very bold idea. But I don't think it's an idea that's appropriate for special session. An idea like that needs to go through our regular system of public hearings, full debate, full notice to everybody, and then we can discuss how such a study should be done, should be conducted, because the public needs to be involved in this. They're the ones that are suffering under this monopoly. So, in a bipartisan, cooperative way, my colleagues on the other side have committed to running such a bill next year, next session. And if the good majority leader wins his election next year, or in November, and is still here, then I will certainly hold him to that commitment. So, I do think we need to investigate this. I do think we need to study it. I do think we need to start looking at real solutions and not just poke around the edges. But those solutions are big and bold, and we need to do it in a regular session. Thank you, Mr. Speaker.
Thank you, Representative Dubitsky.
Majority Leader Ritter. Thank you, Mr. Speaker. And I wanted to follow up to my good colleague on the Republican side, Representative Dubitsky, and I do want to confirm that for the record. We had a conversation. Again, we're working within the parameters of a call of a special session, which we don't draft. It's obviously drafted down the hall. And the question that was posed, and we had the conversation, is would we in this chamber, to the extent that I have any ability to control that, establish a task force, as Representative Dubitsky mentioned, to study the things that you enumerated? Absolutely. I would be glad to have us have a debate about forming that task force to study that, let people have their say and put a vote on the board. I think it's a good idea, and it's a good compromise because we're in a tough position where these task forces, although Representative Balsito is probably rolling his eyes somewhere, these task forces are common. We do it on both sides. It's a good way to weigh issues critically. I would have no problem with such a bill next year. So thank you for everyone understanding the kind of constraints we're under because of the call. Thank you, Mr. Speaker.